Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. I'm hearing recalibrate, so I'm taking a moment because I had this weird feeling. I looked at these decks, and I always noticed that because these cards are a little bit thicker, that even though they're the same deck, it's a little higher. I always notice it because of what is most likely OCD type. It just is part of my life, so I always brush past it. But I couldn't stop staring at it, and I was like, am I supposed to switch decks? Like, am I missing something? And then I just heard, this is not about you. And I looked at the decks for a moment, and I was going to use the standard original Rider Waite and the Radiant to kind of represent Divine Masculine, past, present, so we could see if any syncs come up, if we could see visually the shift. I believe Divine Masculine is having some issues and always has had some issues with seeing themselves in the new light, thinking that they're going to have to shrink themselves down or be less than the person they want to be. I don't know why I was supposed to say that, but it feels really strong. And again, for me, that makes me want to recalibrate and think, wait a minute, what is that about? Am I missing something? So I'm already hearing recalibrate. I come in, I'm putting this out there. Someone might need to know. All right, let's keep going, Grace. God bless you. Okay, yeah, it's time. Let's get started. Oh, if you are here and you have not yet liked the video, thank you so much for doing so. It helps these videos reach a lot of people. Yesterday, the love letter that no, it wasn't yesterday, I believe it was the day before, whatever day it was, Mr. Lightwork posted a love letter and it disappeared. And someone came to ask me for it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Let me go look, right? I thought they just were messing something up or didn't, like, user error. Guys, no one knew where the video was. It was just gone. So I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on. Ever since the New Wave prophecy came through, since November, we have had problem after problem after problem. I'm letting you know now, if you're hearing my voice, you must come to our channel at this point to be notified or to see our content. And if you don't mind being helpful and sending a message and saying, hey, the reading is missing, do it. Like, if that ever happens, please help us, because the more proof that we have for YouTube, they're telling us that they're not limiting twin flame content, but they are, because their messages that they're sending are letting us know that, quote, some topics just won't get as many views. So I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with them. And I really appreciate you guys cooperating and participating in, like, the normal YouTube stuff of liking and commenting and all that, because it actually does a lot. Okay. All right. Golden ticket giveaway. I'm so sorry. I'm not doing a good job. I've only mentioned it in one video. I do have a giveaway going on right now. It is a paid giveaway. So if you have already spent $11 or more since January 11th on my website, you're already entered. I just need you to send me your address so I can mail you either a golden ticket or a special surprise. So if you're interested, the golden ticket prize, there's 5 prizes you can choose from. It includes a call with me, a reading with me, a personal recorded reading, and like a couple other packages. So if you're interested in winning, I haven't done one for a while because of the bad thing that happened before. Um, but I really miss doing them, and we're already having so much fun. And I have decided to extend it, but only by about a week. So it's going to run from 1/1/2024. So, or a 1/11, so January 11th to March 3rd. Okay. So I'll update everybody on that, but no one really needs to do anything different. It's just giving a few people who've requested it a little bit extra time. Okay. So I love you guys. If you've already done 11/11 or more, we're ready to go. And make sure you email me your mailing address so I can send you your envelope and maybe you win a special prize. If not, thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. I think that's everything I have been forgetting to say. Okay. All right. Let's find out what it is that we need to know. So we start off in, I feel like the tree in this is meant to represent this wand before it was whittled down. So this wand, this tree, it was actually used for something else. So I think the first thing we're being told here is the divine masculine is making a shift to something that used to be considered like background noise to them. And now this is the first time they've ever really paid attention and looked at this divine inspiration they're receiving in a new way. So the past has kind of been where whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing now was, I don't know, either ignored, put on the back burner, or again, something going on in the background, maybe that they didn't even know was happening. But let's keep going. Seven of Cups. So there's been a lot of slowdowns in divine masculine's life. They're not really prepared to deal with the things that are coming their way, especially the last few years. I would even say the last 7 years is a big time frame, but I think that things have just gotten really intense the last few years for them. So, okay, I think we are definitely looking back. I'm getting this here. This delays are creating procrastination energy in them that a lot of procrastinators will understand. Sometimes it's the procrastination itself that creates, it's like it begets, procrastination begets procrastination. It creates the procrastination energy bigger and more, I can't talk, I'm so sorry guys, in your life. And there's something about this that says it wasn't the confusion or whatever it was that kind of threw them for a loop and overwhelmed them. It was the fact that they took too long to deal with it, and then they got stuck with the shoulda did this, wish I could have done that kind of energy. So that's also important to know. It's not the stuff that's the problem. It's themselves. They're their own worst enemy. They're their worst critic. They can just continually stop themselves from moving forward. Okay, all right. Getting the picture. And then 10 of Cups. This is what it's supposed to be, but it has to be organized. All right, what does that mean? Spiritual order. You're out of order, divine masculine. Now that has a few meanings here, because what that says is not only, and I always talk about the order on the 7 of Cups, that you should start with divine feminine and divine and dealing with the problems and all that. Like, you shouldn't really be jumping around, and divine masculine is so worried about the victory and the power that they immediately go for the thing that is kind of surrounded by dragons and towers. So I'm intrigued by this because it's like, you need to go in the right order. Also, you're out of order. The things that you are doing are wrong and are not acceptable here. But you know where it's here? To them, in their own heart, in their own head, in their own space. This tells me that the divine masculine has known for some time. Ooh, 1718. How long is that? I don't know why I just... Oh, 2017, 2018. That's literally the cycle. That it is the last 7 years. Sorry. Divine masculine must deal with the truth of who they are and what they want. And there's so much that they refuse to acknowledge. And by doing things the way that they're doing them and sitting with that kind of just like, oh, it's already too late for me, you go ahead kind of thing, it has put them in a position for the last 7 years that I think says you're always going to be I don't want to say 2 steps behind, because something feels like I'm supposed to say, no, 2 steps ahead too. They're never on time. They're never aligned. And this is about the process that led them to whittling down all the extra stuff, getting in order. You know what all this is saying? Logic, divine masculine energy, emperor. So this was a season of refining the emperor. What do we need to know? Boom. There's the stick again. Not surprised. There's the laurel wreath that I pointed out to you. The Six of Wands is a card that happens before and after war. It is cyclical. We always end up back here. To me, this says divine masculine is leaving a season that was really rough on them. And they're no longer going to be seated on the throne looking back with the stick in hand trying to figure out like what to do, because now they're on the horse. That's giving me knight energy. They are not only crowned, but they have one, which I always tell you, that's an engagement ring. That's how I kind of see that, like old school engagement ring. I'm coming to crown my queen, letting people know this is who I'm with. All right. The people behind them, the Five of Wands is present. There are still immaturities within them that I think they'll probably grow out of with time once they get a little bit deeper on this road that they're committing to. And there's love. There's unconditional love. This is very, very good to see. But remember, this also says, if you've ever heard me tell the story of the people at war, you know, the Nine of Wands guy's over here, he's been left behind because he got hurt. So they said, hey, you stay at this camp, stay with the booty. And then the Four of Swords guy, he kind of fights in the battle and then he goes home. And while he's at home in the church, Death is out cleaning up the battlefield. And then they send somebody back to the Nine of Wands guy like, yo, the war is over, my bad. Y'all can come home now. They always find out super late. And then everybody kind of comes back. Everything gets handled. And then guess what? They go back out to war because that's their job as a soldier, literally. I'm in this kingdom, they're always at war, my bad. So that's the vibe I've gotten when I put those cards together. And the Six of Wands is not only the victory parade, but it's the send-off. So to see that here to me says, okay, yes, we're coming from a difficult time. Yes, we're also entering a difficult time, but we've made the decision, the right decisions. We're no longer running from what's important. We're headed directly to it. And even though we might not have completely outgrown and might not be completely in our emperor energy, we're headed to it. I like this. I think this is a good thing. So even with the past energy the way that it was, divine masculine found themselves, I think, looking a little bit deeper and trying to discover more about what these things said about them. There's something I often talk about in like the twin flame community, that the beautiful thing about this concept, if it's not real and it's all just crazy, we're all just crazy, is that so many of us have been taught or relearned or felt more comfortable with unconditional love. Twin flames is beautiful for unconditional love. And if we could at least take that with us, it could be so beautiful. There's something about this for divine masculines where it's like that. It's like there's so much that was rough about what they went through. And a lot of us might not want to see that last 7 years of their cycle and how they handled it and look at it and be proud of them. Sometimes it's kind of hard. But then at the same time, if we can think, well, they came out of it and their emperor energy was so much stronger. I'll make a man out of you, had that moment. I don't know why that song just came to my head, but they had that kind of masculine evolution in that season. And even if it wasn't exactly what I wanted to see, what I do know is it brought them home. That is what I believe a lot of divine feminines will be able to connect with, even if they look back at their journey. Because a lot of divine feminines, once they get into reunion, they're no longer here, present in this space. And everybody looks back on it in different ways. I have reached out and spoken to divine feminines who have walked away because they're in union, and all of them feel very different about their journey. Some good, some bad, even though they're in union. So divine masculine is looking back, and I think having some questions, some anxieties, but also starting to learn some things about themselves. So, all right, what are we missing about this? As we get this peek into the culminating energy of this last 7-year cycle and everything they've been through probably lately, what are we not thinking about? What have we not considered? Y'all, get the fuck out of here. It's the Four of Swords. And I think what this says is, remember, Grace, you tell a story about different people in the war. I can't believe I actually went through and told the story, because sometimes I just mention it, sometimes I don't. And you talked about the Four of Swords guy going in the church, but you didn't tell the people what he was doing in there. Y'all, the Four of Swords guy, He does get to make it home before anybody else because he fought in all the battles. He didn't get hurt. So he gets home, and before he left, as was custom where he's from, he built his own coffin. That way, if they had to bring him back and he was no longer with us, but they had, for the family, they said, we brought him home for you. They wouldn't have to go through the agony of building a freaking coffin. So the soldier comes home and, as is tradition, lays in that coffin and reflects on how everything could have been much different for them. Because there are some comrades who will be buried when they make it home. And I think that this is the divine masculine collective right now. They're looking at the fallen comrades. They're looking at the people in their life, I think maybe even fellow DMs, but others as well, that didn't make it, didn't get to be their friend anymore, didn't get to be in their life, or left them behind. They're looking at the people who actually are no longer with us, or people who moved away or got into relationships and changed. They're thinking about everything that's happened for the last 3-4 years. And they're reflecting on the fact that they're still here, and maybe that's for a reason. So what we may not be thinking about, remember that I brought up Emperor for energy. Everybody has a reason. Everybody always used to tell me that the reason that my grandma loved my mom so much, my dad's mom loved my mother a lot. Weird, right? Because my mom getting pregnant with me changed the course or trajectory of my dad's life forever. All my dad's friends are dead or in jail from his childhood, except him. And a lot of you know how successful he became. So that's why my grandma loved my mom. A lot of you are that person for your DM. Raise your hand. So as I look at this, I just think, if I, as a divine masculine, reflect on where I could have been and where I'm headed, and knowing I have to go back out into that war, that means that I want to do things different. I'm reflecting on everything that happened, but 4 + 6 is 10. I think that there is an ego death happening here. I think that whatever happened, it changed them. It changed the course or the trajectory of their life forever. This is so important because a lot of divine masculines are having these weird life or death type of experiences. Oh, wow. As I say that, I'm sorry, because I realized there's a couple people that I've talked to in the last few days that's actually happened. So my bad. I hope I didn't just trigger somebody. I'm talking not just about like NDE guys. I'm talking about like, I know if I hadn't have made that turn or gone with somebody to this or missed that flight or whatever, I know things would be different. I know this, I know that, and it's happening at an alarming rate. A lot of us are being shown kind of a life flashing before our eyes moment. So what is the vision looking forward? Because if we saw, I think it was the first card, King of Wands, visionary, king, entrepreneur energy. Looking back though, now we see them, they're moving forward. What is the vision that they're moving towards? What is this particular set of divine masculines dealing with? Now, call this energy out. Love to see the Fool with the stick, because we know that the stick is important here. I keep saying wand, stick. You get it, my bad. The star I brought up earlier because we had the 10 of Cups and the 7 of Cups together. So this intrigues me because, again, it's pointing us back to 2017, the beginning of the last 7-year cycle. 2024 is the beginning of the new 7-year cycle. Okay? So there's something being initiated, something that the divine masculines are bringing into this new season that you can see the unconditional love, the 6 of Cups flowers in his hand. You can see what the divine masculine is doing in this new season, because I think that there's a little bit of an exposed energy to this. I am taking all my hopes and all my dreams and everything that I failed at before, and I'm getting rid of everything that doesn't serve me about it, and I'm looking at what remains. And then I'm setting off on a brand new adventure, and I'm going to need loyalty and love and magic, the alchemy. Inside of this bindle, it's like a Mary Poppins bag. There's a cup in there, there's a sword in there, and there's a pentacle in there. He's headed to see the magician. Divine feminine. I have a question about the magician energy. Do you think that the flower is meant to represent you, like you guys are going to start this journey together? Do you think that you are the high priestess energy they'll meet, the magician energy, the empress? Like, do you see it that this could be the new beginning where your divine masculine actually makes it home? There's something about this that says this is very important for the reunions that are taking place. And if you know the annual forecast that we did, the beginning of the year is some of the highest potential for reunion I've seen in a very long time, which again has everything to do with what happens in April. So, Grace, don't lose it. Keep going. No, I lost it because I went to go split the cards and my mind immediately went to this. Keep going. Oh, I was asking you the question, and I think that was the point. Now we see the unconditional love, the Ace of Cups, the overflow, the abundance, and this points me actually back to the Star card. I believe this is about love, you guys. I believe this is very clearly about love. That the inspiration for all of this is love. And there's the wand again. Underneath the flag, the Sun card child carries the wand. This is an old dream. This is an old dream that was tainted by the judgments and ideas and beliefs and preferences of others. The divine masculine cannot really be held accountable. Hold on, pause, let me finish. For their foolishness, if you know full well from the moment you met them that they were surrounded by foolish people. Why? Because your divine masculine was who they were and honestly didn't know any better. Now, if you met them and then they were smart and then they started hanging out with dum-dums and became a dum-dum themselves, honey, hold them accountable. I don't know what's wrong with them. But if you met them and you knew them and they were how they were, and then you met their family or their friends and it's pretty much been ingrained in them since childhood to be the way they are, you have to understand you needing them to be present was not going to be enough for that person to change. And we all know that, but there's moments where it's like, why not? But this to me says they're becoming aware of how dumb some of the stuff that they think and do can be. They're having conversations. I think that might be what this is about, is the conversations that they're having that are changing them. Like there's a need to express this. I need you to understand what's happening. A lot of people don't understand the power of communication, and I think the divine masculines can be included in that. Wow, the devil. So the question would be then, are we connecting the two energies where the person rides in, 1 + 5 is 6, and then they get caught up? Is this them being freed, or is this divine feminine? There's a lot that could be said here. I will also point out that this here, 4 and 6, could be 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. I see 10 of Swords, ego death. I get it. But I feel like I'm missing something here. What am I not understanding about the devil energy kind of showing up in this future space? Ooh, I just heard something. I'm going to say it before I pull this. Do you guys remember when I did a reading and it was like 4 readings in a row, 4 different decks. 2 of them were really obscure decks that I had like never used before. And I don't think I've used them since. And the devil kept coming out. And there's this message, the devil gave the divine masculine their fire. They had to go down and get trapped because it was the only way that they were going to get fire. So okay. Because remember, in the Lover's card, the divine masculine has a burning bush behind him. But the question then becomes, did the divine masculine like the bush with their own energy? Because the divine feminine, remember, these are tails. These are connected to them. The divine feminine has a beautiful tree behind her. So the question is, what came first, right? The chicken or the egg kind of energy. Now, typically we would look at this energy and I would say, no, this is imposter. This is people who can be made to look like the avatar, right? You can kind of do something and then you can be one, kind of like that. They're made to look like real people, but they're really demons. They're really bad spirits. But no, there's something about this that very much feels connected to divine masculine. Ego death, but also, yeah, getting their fire the only way they could. Because maybe you have the light fire and they have the dark fire, and together that's your yin and yang balance. Let me see. Five of Swords. This is very interesting. This is giving me double what we saw over here. And it is telling me swords. 5, 15, 20. So that's judgment, or we have swords, swords, swords. Heavy, like double 10 of swords. You guys know I cannot stand this card. It's probably not even that bad of a card, but I just don't like it. He's so smug. He's such a jerk. And everything that he's put on the back burner while focusing on the stuff that only continues to break his heart has to be dealt with. This is a twin flame in training card. This person must deal with their true motives in life. So, okay, looking at this together, what I think we haven't considered is that going into this season, the divine masculine may still be moving the way that they used to. But maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe we're supposed to know that. I've had to give that warning to divine feminines before, that when they come in, be cautious, but give them a chance, because it might appear that they're still one way. Because in your mind, you're like, if he's still driving that same old car and doing that same tired old thing and da-da-da-da-da, I'm not dealing with it. And then he shows up and he's doing the same thing, leaning on his same tired car. And you're like, see, he's still just a playboy. And then you listen to him and he's like, yeah, I started going to church with my grandma on Tuesdays. I'm just kidding. I know not everybody's DM is male and blah, blah. Not everybody goes to church. But you see my point? It's like, look, what I'm trying to say to you is there is something ahead for many divine feminines where you're going to think, because you've been told that they have these transformations, that they're going to come up looking like, I don't know, Jesus with a glow behind them or something, and their hair floating because they're just so holy now. That's not it. And I think that what you have to be prepared for is a divine masculine who's still human and still has to learn some things and make some mistakes that might not feel divine if we're standing on our high horse or our pedestal, kind of looking down on them, as sometimes in the twin flame community we can, because I think it feels good for people. I get it. You know what I mean? But if you do it too much and it becomes a habit, and then you guys get together and you're looking down your nose at them, forgetting that you make mistakes too, there's going to be some weird energy in the relationship. So, okay, we see that going from the past to the future, the divine masculine may need to save divine feminine. The divine masculine may need to save themselves. The divine masculine may need to go to a dark place to come out with some fire. We're going to find out. See, this is where I felt recalibrating was so important. Divine Feminine, if you are here and you like this video, please like the video. Let's start here. Is this 3? Okay, coming right out. All right, Divine Masculine. I'm sorry. I need to clarify something with them. Just give me a second. Let's go here. Dang, I don't want to mess up. All right. This is why I clear my decks. I need clarity real quick. King of Pentacles, Six of Wands. All right. Eight of Wands. Delays are over. Seven of Cups, reverse. This is great. This is good. 7 plus 8, 15. We're on track. Queen of Cups. I get you. What am I missing? Plans have changed. Okay. Queen of Cups, plans have changed. 1, 3. 3 of Swords. 1 of Ace of Swords. From the 4 of Swords. What's the truth? What's the truth about your Queen of Cups, Divine Masculine? Knight of Cups. Huh. So you know you're the holdup. You want to be romantic. But every time you try, in your mind, every time you think about it, what's the problem? Eight of Pentacles. Seems like a lot of work with little payoff. Why little payoff? Ooh, because I'm received by the cold Queen of Swords. Okay. Is that a fear? Probably. Because a lot of divine feminines are going to come in and be like, mother, you haven't even called me. So you ain't received by nobody because you don't even give me a chance to receive you. I know. All right. I feel like this is about a conversation. Is this about a conversation? Four of Cups. A conversation you didn't want to have. Why? King of Cups. Because it was about love and it made you feel inadequate. It brought you back to to the Knight of Cups. And it made you feel even worse and more alone. So you don't want to have this conversation, but for some reason this conversation brings balance. Five of Swords. It made you question your motives. Wow. It's kind of like realizing, kind of calling themselves out. Well, no, I guess it's not, because you had a conversation. 1 plus 4 is 5. 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords. Ego death while realizing what you're missing. Again, who was this conversation with? Who was this conversation with? 8 of Wands. 5 of Wands. 13. Yo, I don't know why, but this feels like a conversation that they could have gotten in trouble. This feels weird. So a part of me, I'm gonna be honest, when I came into this, I thought we were talking some sort of third party situation. That's what's been like on my mind today, like really hard. I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna have to go live because I keep thinking about it. But now I'm like, well, what if this isn't third party? But the energy's heavy like that because it's like their boss, their mother, their kid. I don't even know. Their partner, their like business partner even. I mean, I guess it could be third party, but I think that this is bigger than just those DMs who are in third party situations. One more. Just give me one more. Come on. Who's this with? 2 of Wands. Yeah, contract. So it could be a third party, but it could be anybody they have any kind of covenant or contract with. Anybody they've made vows, promises, obligations to. I think that'll help. Who does your divine masculine feel obligated to? Ah, interesting. Because to them, they feel King of Swords. Jeez, but they're trapped. Wow. Trapped in a covenant that has forced them to put the things they deeply care about behind the scenes. Okay, well, let's have okay, let's talk about this conversation, divine masculine. Oh, man. This is not what I thought this was. This is nuts. I don't even know what I have laid out here. That's where I think I needed clarity. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's. Oh man, I feel like I need one more thing. How is this conversation from the past and reflecting the future? Communication, conversation, Ace of Swords, the hard part, the challenging beginning. Starting is the hardest part. You gotta be kidding me. That was the first card we pulled over here was the King of Pentacles with the Six of Wands. If they really want to be on their right path, to be aligned, they're going to have to do this. They're going to have to do something that I don't think that they really want to do and haven't really been prepared to do for a long time. So let's be a fly on the wall here. I'm assuming that if this is having them reflecting on love, this is where the weird part is. How do you have a conversation with your boss that ends up talking about love? But I've had some conversation with bosses that weren't necessarily work appropriate, but was like, hey, listen, you need to deal with your love life. You need to deal with your personal life. You need, don't you want to be happy? Why are you acting like that? I've seen some kind of things happen. I've been a part of some things. So I know that work can cross lines into family type conversations. Okay, actually, that's not that crazy. All right. Let's talk about where they've been. Oh man, this is okay. All right, Grace. I think you need to kind of take a step back. What were you thinking about Divine Feminine? Wow. Divine Feminine, you inspired me. You inspired me with your vulnerability, but you also terrified me. You lit the way for me, but in revealing the path ahead, I was even more scared. I could have done without knowing what came next once I saw what was next. But you showed me that there was something abundant about the way you flowed, something otherworldly. And I felt these extremes with you in every possible way, every aspect of our relationship. How did you feel? I felt that you were cold to me, that you closed yourself off to me, that you didn't trust me because I didn't trust myself and I was confused. And I was dumb. I would say and do things that didn't make any sense. And in most ways, you understood me. In every way you understood me, except the reasons I gave you for not being ready to be with you. And I found a way in my own immaturity to spin that to be proof that that's all you cared about and that you were just tricking me and you were just like everybody else. When deep down, I think on one side, know that's not even true and that's nonsense. But on the other side, I think I was so hurt that someone who seemed to understand me so well and I could tell things I could never talk, like, but they just didn't get it. And that, as much as I know my childishness brought that about, I still was hurt by it. What was the hardest part? What was the challenge? Jeez. The biggest challenge was leaving the stable feeling that I had developed in the isolation I created for myself around my life. I had just enough people around me that I looked like I had people in my life. But those people didn't know me or respect me. Those people, they were just trying to get on my stability. Whatever good thing I had, they wanted it. And it was nice to feel wanted, so I took it. But other than that, there was nothing there for me. So the hardest part was admitting that, I guess. Admitting that there's never been anything here for me. And that every time I forced you to build a river and flow out and come see me and join me deep out at sea, I was wasting your time. I was wasting your energy. I just wanted to see if you would do it. It made me feel good to know the length that you would go through to come to me. It was incredible. I'd never felt anything like it. And then I realized that I could make you. I could make you prove it every time. I could force you to prove your love. And that felt good. Because no matter how difficult I made it, you did it. But then everything would fall apart again. Because you couldn't live with me. I didn't build enough room for two on this. And eventually you were too tired to cling to the side of this isolation, so you would go home. And then I would blame you for leaving. What are you so afraid of? What were you so afraid of? Being held to my own beliefs. Being forced to make the changes that I would ask of others. Being expected to actually be the person that had it all together since I was claiming that I did. I was so afraid of just standing in my truth. That's all you really wanted from me, was just to decide, what did I want? Who did I want to be? Even if I couldn't be them, who did I want to be? What happened the last 7 years? You watched. You freak. For a very long time, I have watched you. You didn't know, but sometimes I would sneak away from my loneliness. And I would hide in plain sight. There were moments I was right in front of you. You had no idea. Moments that I captured and experienced and saw in your life that you'd be shocked if you knew I knew. I spent the last years running from intimacy. And then chasing behind it anytime it walked away. I needed it. It kept me going. And I don't want to change. So just being able to get filled by you, recharging my batteries, and then going right back out. I thought I had it all figured out. It seemed like a really good idea. But the more I watched you, the more I wanted to look up and see what you saw. The more curious I was about what you were thinking and doing and why. I've been running myself into the ground for no reason. I've been running away from my truth and my purpose for no reason. Because fear isn't really a reason. Because if you ask me the reason behind the fear, all I'd have is excuses. I don't know the answers to the questions I'm being asked most of the time. And I feel like a kid. I feel like a big baby. But I look forward and I think, maybe it doesn't have to be like that. You know, there's a reason that you see me and you think that I should be by your side. Maybe there's something that with clarity I could figure out. Maybe that's why I have had so much trouble connecting the dots between my emotions and my thoughts and my goals and my dreams and how I go about them. Maybe there's something in me that's trying to get me to focus first and then do the other thing. Because I feel like that's what you always wanted me to do. So I want to focus first. Ugh. I'm clearing away the things that keep me in the past. Ooh. I want to walk away from the things that don't serve me, but I also want to make sure that the things that are going to haunt me find their final resting place. And I don't know if I come home to you, if I'm going to be ready to be in that same vulnerable space, if I will have what it takes to build a river to meet you where you are. All I can do is hope that by following the flow that you left for me, the flow of alignment that you've been in, that I can get it home. I can get home and I can be who I'm supposed to be. The first thing I have to do is change. And the first thing I have to change is the way I allow my past to weigh me down and affect how I treat other people. I want to commit. I want to commit to a future with you where we can shine together. We can experience firsts together and do all the things that both of us have been waiting for someday to do. I don't want you to have to feel like you're the only one looking toward tomorrow. I want us both to be able to experience the moments in life that, for some reason, I told myself just weren't available to me. I don't know, maybe I thought I was too cool to experience it or something, but I spent so much time telling myself that I was going in the wrong direction and doing the wrong things, and I never thought to ask myself, then what's right? I never thought to ask myself why I thought it was so normal that I was supposed to be miserable, why I told myself that. I asked myself so many questions. What am I so afraid of? I'm afraid that you're right and you're wrong. I'm afraid that you're right about some of the garbage things that I have done. and decisions that I've made, but that you're wrong about my ability to actually do anything about it. Truth is, I know you mean well, and I'm lucky to have somebody that would care that much, that would step in like that would stand in the gaps when I was being foolish. I'm so intimidated by the way you think that it's frightening to see myself coming to experience more moments where I just feel so foolish next to you. I'm afraid that my childish nature about authority and competitiveness and these things that are not wholly divine in their masculine are going to completely derail any chance that we ever have of being together. I struggle so much with that kind of pain. I struggle so much with that kind of pressure on myself and that chip on my shoulder. And the thought of basically bringing you to a point where you become the nag, or where you become so fed up that you won't even nag me at all, you just leave. You are the one person in my life that I finally get why people say, let's just be friends, because at least I can't lose you that way. I have never felt this kind of terror about stepping into something with someone who I want to be around so much and I don't understand myself. But there's one thing I do know, that as much as I don't want to change, for you to know what you bring to the table, you are my heart. Without you, I'm cold. Without you, my traditions are meaningless. Without you, my life, my whole world is just not the same. So I've made some very important decisions. And they all pretty much surround all the stuff that I've been procrastinating about. All the stuff that I told myself was no big deal. It get handled. Life will figure it out for me. Just let it pass. Who cares if everything goes wrong? At least I didn't choose the wrong thing. All the ways that I have gotten out of taking accountability for my own life. I cannot continue to be this person when I have an empress, a multifaceted queen sitting in front of me who has done nothing but love me. Because I see the power and the beauty and the grace and the glory in you, but you've shown me the parts of you that no one else was ever supposed to see, that I don't even know if I deserve to see. And the most foolish decision that I could make right now is to just act like it doesn't matter to me. Like it's not killing me inside. Like being apart from you isn't. Okay. Oh man. I forgot I'm not supposed to wipe my hands. Because then the cards will get wet. Okay, I'm supposed to wipe on my hand. On my, what's this called? The back of my wrist. Okay, guys. Okay, Grace. Okay, Grace. Is this over? Oh my gosh. This is Wheel of Fortune. This is Wheel of Fortune. Oh, hold on. Okay, y'all. Wait. We got energy. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. All along, the past has been trying to show the divine masculine the light. The light of love and reunion and partnership, real covenant. And if we remember from the beginning, the problem has been that this person, whoever this person has been in covenant with, this somehow either produced these thoughts about divine feminine or were actually the conversation that was had about divine feminine, about why they're not in a relationship, why they haven't settled down, why they're not following their heart, why they're not trying to be a better person. Whatever it is had a lot to do with divine feminine. And I don't know if this was just a part of the conversation or if this was like the whole, I don't know. You know, if it's like an hour long and then we just saw like 5 minutes. I don't know. But the past, everything was about showing them the reality, the truth of who they are. We've seen Four of Wands, Four of Swords, Emperor energy has come up energetically. There's something here that says divine masculine is meant to establish a firm foundation. And for us, looking at the last 7 years of our DM's life, we might be like, oh, I hope that's not your foundation. Like, okay. No, right? No, no, no. But if you were going to build a special home with a special foundation, it would probably take a lot longer to build that. And you might hear 7 years and think, oh my gosh. But if someone said to you, well, I mean, it usually takes 4 years to build a regular foundation, you'd go, oh, all right, well, okay. Okay, tell me more. You know what I mean? And there's something here that's like, listen, what they're doing and the way it all was set up, this is a foundation that is never going to be able to be wiped away. This is really important because this mirrors what's happening spiritually in the collective right now. We are about to build a spiritual temple that will shine on for hundreds of years. Again, that's new wave prophecy stuff. That's another story. But to see the divine masculines are stepping into that, they've built their foundations. That's what's been happening individually across the world. All the members of the Global Sacred Partner Collective have been, and really the Lightworker Collective, have been building our individual kingdoms piece by piece so that eventually, you ever seen them move a whole house from one side of town to the other? Like a whole house. Just pick up the house off the foundation and move it. You ever seen them move building from the 1800s in the middle of, a big downtown, and they shift it like 6 inches that way, but they move the entire building? Divine masculine is experiencing this. There's something happening. And I think what we need to know about that is that for divine masculines, there is going to be something really special, like an outcome that is beyond their wildest expectation. And I don't think that it's going to be about the reunion part. And we need to be okay with the fact that they can love us and want us, but also be nervous about being with us, just being in a relationship at all, getting it right. We have to be able to be okay with that because they're going to communicate that sometimes to us in probably really tactless ways. For them, it's a chance to be a good person, to be a better them. That's what matters most. What was set up within them in the last 7 years for this? Ugh. They want to be the person they wanted to be when they were young. When you were young, I don't know about you, I did have a little bit of trouble picturing myself. But I knew exactly who I wanted to look like in this way and that way and this way and that way. I could picture it. What does your DM want to be? And why is it that reunion allows them and affords them that? We know it's because this twin flame partnership is something else. But they don't know. Isn't it interesting this card keeps coming up? When it comes down to the covenant, though, this is the future part. The past was about them learning about them. what matters to them, their and why it was so important for them to be themselves. And okay. But now this is about the covenant. This is about the us of it all. And it's interesting that it's represented by the one person. But that's because people need to be able to agree to certain types of relationship effort levels, right? Some people say relationships should be 50-50, which is cool, right? And maybe some days it's 80-20 or 70-30 because one person needs a little bit help or whatever. Other people will say no, relationships should be 100-100. And then, if they have to become 50-50 or something, that's fine, but both people should be giving their all. So if you look at the 4 of Wands here, DM brought 2 wands in and DF brought 2 wands in. And Divine Masculine first just needed to understand that they were meant to share this energy with someone, and now they need to understand the how. So I think it's very interesting that the message that came through, not even just here, but even in the check-in, like the clarifiers and everything, is kind of like, look, they're not going to be perfect. But when they come in, when they come home, you'll know that they really want to be there because of the covenant. It's like when people get freaking married. When people get married, you know what usually happens? Everybody says hands off. Everybody meddles. Everybody's in the planning process of the wedding and all the parties and all that. And then they're married and it's like, oh, be respectful, which I think is a horrible way to push people, or what, even in just encouraging, right, into marriage, and then just dip on them and just have them figure it out all themselves. This is why a lot of people struggle, and they take too long to go to counseling. They take too long to go to therapy. There's this something here that says, if we could actually understand that when a married couple first gets together and they start having those first few fights after, the honeymoon phase or whatever, it can be really scary. But the one thing in the back of their head is like, bro, you're my wife, you're my husband. We're going to have to figure this out. And one of the scary things about separation is Mr. Lightwork always points out that for twin flames, it's like, you're my soul partner. You're my other half. You're my, whatever it is I believe, like, we're already together basically. And Mr. Lightwork says it's kind of unfair because the divine feminines treat the divine masculines like they're already married in terms of like the possession, but they don't give them the same grace. And the way that some DFs talk about their DMs while possessing them is kind of weird to him. And I get that. And so it's like, if the divine masculine kind of has to understand their side of it and figure it out and needs to practice alongside their divine feminine, but their divine feminine has been led to behave certain ways, or maybe you're really sweet and nice, but you were told they're just going to be so different and there's not going to be that phase. Separation can lead you to be really fearful because, yeah, we acknowledge that connection and that almost like sacred marriage, but at the same time, it's not happening in the physical, and it creates cognitive dissonance. And now by the time we get together, it's weird because it's like, I've already committed to you, but you weren't committed to me. And I've poured a lot of energy into this, but you weren't really there for that. But you need to know it happened, and I'm going to need you to put all the energy in first. It's weird. It's not like a typical relationship or what we would experience in a marriage. But the beauty is this divine masculine seems to be really excited about the opportunity to try things out, which to me says there's a marriage mindset coming through. From the very beginning, we saw the 6 of Wands. That was what was in place here. And that energy of divine love and divine partnership and making the love offer. And I like the fact that we're continuing through with the wands here. And it's like, look, the divine masculine is very excited now that they understand and they know there's some decisions that need to be made. They're very excited about what comes next. And once they get into that space, the next thing will be for them to learn that every rose has its thorn, for them to understand that there's going to be rough moments and rough patches. One of the most devastating moments in our relationship, mine with Mr. Lightwork, in our relationship in the first year we were dating, was Mr. Lightwork would see magical things happen in my life all the time. You guys know I'm a blessed person, okay? And it's not because I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I'm connected to God. That's it. So for him, when he committed to me, I think in his mind, he's like, I'm in the magic now, right? And so when things did not go well for him, and he was really trying to be a good person, he was trying to do all the nice things. He really he was trying so hard, but his past was still, the energy was just still beating him down, y'all. It was so sad that first year and a half we were together, like the stuff I watched him have to go through. But I'm gonna put it to you like this: the miracles that came about like a year after that, it changed everything for him. I'll never forget though what he said to me, and I could see his pain when he was like, "You promised me that things would be different if I decided to make them different." And that first stage of manifestation and that buffer period as we are waiting for things to shift in our lives, we know it takes time. We've been learning patience, haven't we, Divine Feminines? But they don't. And I think the warning to Divine Feminines here is, as you come into union this year, especially those of you who are coming in now as they're in this energy, be aware that separation has created tensions that would not have been there if this was a normal relationship. That being said, it's going to be very important for you to maybe like counsel yourself, about how to work within those strange energies. This person's energy is going to be very fragile. Their alignment energy is going to be fragile, okay? What are we missing about this future? Y'all, can't make this up. I knew to pull the cards. Look at the cards that came out as sinks. And actually, here's what's interesting. Is she over here? The Queen of Swords also came out. Ah, wow. And the Two of Wands. So the Queen of Swords came out in this other deck. Four of Wands comes up twice. Two of Wands, Queen of Swords comes up 3 times. I think what this says is, for each of us, we need to study what does Queen of Swords mean to me? Because this whole thing stems from some conversation the Divine Masculine had. And in it, they did acknowledge that while they were being very fearful about Divine Feminine getting into her Queen of Swords mode, that they also believe they've experienced it. And maybe it's a little bit exaggerated, right? Maybe it wasn't as bad as they're making it out to be, because again, they also kind of said they played around a little bit. They couldn't help but just bask in all the love you were giving them, and they kind of took advantage a little bit. So it's like, not defending, but simply finding it very interesting that the Queen of Swords comes across in every single one. And the energy even for them was trying to get into their King of Swords, but in the right ways. Not using this energy to be cold towards people, but using this energy to think through things clearly. Divine Feminine is ready to do that, but Divine Masculine has struggled. Why? Because they are emotionally unavailable even to themselves. So, oh my goodness, this was a lot of stuff. In order for them to embrace and open themselves up to the love of a divine partner, they had to be reminded that it's something that they've always wanted. They always wanted the vulnerability with their divine partner, always desired it. Once they figured out this truth and had this foundation, in order for them to be a good divine partner, they also had to learn how to be in covenant with Divine Feminine. I know he's holding the World card, but I'm telling you, I have such a strong Wheel of Fortune energy coming through again, and I don't really know why. Hold on. Look at that. Look at that. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 2 is 10. And then we've got the Sun card. This doesn't go here. And then we've got the Sun card. 1 plus 9 is 10. I don't know what's going on. Because remember, wasn't it here too? Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's something. What's about up here? This was 11. This is 11, 11, 8. Hold on, Grace. What are you saying? The past was a karmic path. The karmic version of 11, 11. This was the wrong foundation. If you remember, the last 7 years included a destruction phase That's a part of why it takes so long to build a foundation. You usually got to go dig out the ground. There's all kinds of surveying. There's all kinds of things that happen before you can actually even lay the freaking slab. You know what I mean? And so, and again, I saw in my head, remember earlier when I started talking about foundations, I saw in my head this foundation of this house that I really wanted to buy in Ocala. It was a big, huge brick, like it looked like a big old square block, just a cube. Okay. It was hideous, but that thing is never going to fall down. You're going to have to tear it apart piece by piece and try to like blow it up to break it down, because the foundations were these weird, like internal like shock things inside the cement. I can't explain it. It was really crazy. And then it was like hurricane force wall or window, all kinds of stuff. It was really cool. It was an amazing house. I always wanted a cool house like that. And it reminded me of the house my great grandpa built by hand that I grew up in, which was like a solid brick fortress. So I'm just thinking, specialized foundation that cannot be moved. That's divine, you guys. Wheel of Fortune energy coming through really strong. A very karmic path that was interrupted by divine feminine being willing to build the river out to sea to go to see divine masculine every time coming back in through the delta, in taking new ways and new paths and learning their power. So the separation journey represented by this water flowing, and the connection between the twin flames represented by the water, which I love because of the balance that happens with the 14, the temperance card. I think what this is trying to tell us is divine masculine is being given a fresh shot, a fresh chance in multiple areas. And it's up to us to make sure that if we are also, because we're mirrored twins, all these things, if we're also being given these opportunities, we should be stepping forward. All right. We should be going in and saying, well, what am I being told I'm allowed to manifest right now? In addition to reunion that I've been working on manifesting for a long time, what else is it that's being offered to me? Divine Masculine has had a very important conversation here, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of you who are in contact are going to hear about it soon. What I think is interesting is there's something about this conversation that said, mainly, this is not the type of person that they would normally talk to about this stuff. Or this is a conversation that normally wouldn't have gone down that way. Like if they were talking to their boss and they were getting in trouble and then they freaking broke down crying or something. That's a real interesting way for a person and their boss to start to chat about things that go a little bit beyond what we were originally supposed to talk about. If we're talking to our mother and normally the conversations go the same way, I don't know, maybe mom monopolizes the conversation, or maybe mom doesn't listen, or maybe mom just tells me what she wants me to do. And I finally say, Mom, the one who got away, I'm crying, I'm freaking out, and I'm miserable because of that. You know, that's in that conversation, most mothers, even the bitchiest mothers, even the worst mothers are going to be like, oh no, I understand love in relationships. Let me help you. Right. Like, so look, there's something about this that feels like this is a conversation that they would never have ever had before. And they said some things and that this person gave them a differing opinion. This is a big deal. And I don't know why yet. Like, this was not what I thought was going to come through tonight. And so I'm going to go ahead and step back because there's a lot. I got to figure this out. I love you guys. I hope this was helpful to you. If you need me, I've got a bunch of great stuff going on my website, but I would just say take advantage of the sale price on the calls, because the calls are usually going to be the best thing for everybody. Being able to just talk to me directly and be like, Grace, here's my situation. Or being able to get a reading and be like, Grace, normally when you do a general, there's so much that I wish I could tell you so that you could understand what you're getting. Yeah, get a tarot call, because I just feel like those are so valuable. Now, if you're still interested in like recorded readings, I still do all that stuff. And yes, some of them are on sale right now. But I really do recommend, there's a great sale on calls. I think that it's like 40. Has anybody purchased a call today or recently? If you have, how much was it? I think it's 44.44. I love you guys. Oh, duh. You're sitting here talking about it. It's right in front of your face. There's my website, thefairygrace.com. I'll try to remember to leave a comment or in the description or a pinned comment with the links and stuff. I hope this was helpful. I would suggest going back to the beginning and reading it because this was like a channeling and a reading combined, which is where I think I'm like kind of ooh, what's that word? I was about to say lucid, but I don't even think that's the right word. It's more like loosey goosey. This is more like blah, blah, blah. So I felt it come on in the early part of the reading when I couldn't say something, and I was like, I literally cannot talk right now. So I don't even know if I got it all out. So I think I'm gonna need to figure that out. Okay, I'm just letting you know. I love you. If you're new, by the way, hello. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I'm an intuitive life strategist here on YouTube. I use tarot cards to reach twin flames all around the world. I love my international clients. I love my clients here in the United States. And we have a very beautiful tribe of positive, uplifting men, women, and other people who are just trying to get through a really tough time, a really tough season, a very tough journey, or in other cases, help their divine masculine along with something that is very challenging for them to understand. So, if you are interested in being a part of this, my divine masculine does post on here. However, he has recently decided to only do love letters moving forward because he can't stop channeling love letters. He has a great sale, by the way. I didn't know he was doing this, but for like the past couple of weeks, maybe months, I don't know how long he's been doing it, but I know it's been at least for a couple of weeks. Mr. Lightwork has like an 1111 love note. He never used to like doing the love letters. He felt like a creep. Like he was spying on people's relationship. But he actually has been doing love letters because he's been getting crazy messages like coming left and right for so long. So if you've never gotten a love letter from Mr. Lightwork, he has one for 1111, like a personalized one. I don't know how he's doing it. So check out mrlightwork.com, thefierygrace.com. Oh, I mentioned him to tell you he used to do readings on this page, like normal readings, but I don't know if he's going to do them anymore, to be honest with you. So if you're interested in hearing a divine masculine channel for your divine masculine, you can see Mr. Lightwork do that here a couple times a week or whenever he gets a message. Otherwise, this has always been my channel. So it's me. I'm the main person you're probably going to hear from all the time. I'm the one posting all the memes. If you want to have a meme posted, just send it to me. Just email me and be like, you could post this. I thought this was funny. As long as it's like a high quality visually, I'll post it. Okay. I love you. I feel weird because I kind of want to stay in chat, but I feel crazy.